Good evening. I am Trump. I'm wearing a hideous tie because I have no fashion desire. And what do I have underneath me? A message to the American people, the American public. In all seriousness, of all the stories I've heard, I really want to cry tonight. But I'm going to get straight to the bottom of the story, straight to the work of what we need to do. Vote them out. One side of my dress, I call them wings, says resign. The other one says impeach. That's a summary for me for tonight. Because we talked about our work in protest of this administration. I was an activist, full-time activist before the 4th of July. And my activism work, my passion didn't start on Independence Day, and it didn't stop then. I know what Richard is talking about. Working hard, creating signs, getting arrested. They call us the resistors, hashtag resistance. They say, go and protest, go and resist this administration. Block doors to the offices, block the streets. But then, where are they, all these people? I have learned, talking about being complicit. Thank you for saying that. At least you said it. But there are a lot of people there who don't realize how complacent they are and how complicit they are. And they don't realize there are awareness everywhere created by my action, your action, your action, and that they need to wake up and start being complicit. So on the 4th of July, I, Patricia Okumu, chose to give the world the best 4th of July ever. My friends at Rise and Resist and I had been planning this action for a while, and I hadn't told a soul. It was more of a spur of a moment, an idea, just like any other idea that's in your head, and you question, are you listening to voices? God, is this you? Because I'm going to double check you. I'm not listening. I'm not crazy. So 3 things had to happen. You know, I live in Staten Island. I cross the ferry. I look at the Statue of Liberty every day. There's tons of tourists there. They take pictures. I've taken pictures in the past, but it's all the same. I say, okay, you're right. You made sense. It's the 4th of July. I'm with Rise and Resist, and we're planning an action on Liberty Island. And the third thing was there were children in cages. Our government had taken it upon themselves to put children in cages. I couldn't sleep. To me, it was outrageous. You heard of the stories of immigrants. I'm listening to them like, oh my God, that's me. I don't get in my family anymore. I don't know why. It wasn't about food, you know. It was always about, wait a minute, you know it's hard for me to make these long-distance phone calls. We only have a few minutes left. Don't you have something to say? Is there anything else? What's happening? Because I know so-and-so gave birth. Come on. That's news. Or so-and-so died. Give me some news. We're fine. Everybody's all right. You know, my family, they're very supportive. But unfortunately, when you outside of the United States, you think everybody is rich, that it's a land of opportunity for everybody, that there's milk and honey on the street, whatever they called it, you know. In front of the Trump Tower, before my action on the 4th of July, before Rise and Resist. The next day after the election, I had taken it upon myself to go and fight this administration. I had signs, a big giant sign, which became tremendous. I'm not going to describe it, but each time I have that sign, I turn heads, people take pictures. And I will go put in 3.5 hours to 4 hours in front of the Trump Tower. And you know Tank from the Young Turks, the TYT network. He came looking for protests, because we were strong in the beginning. And by the time he came, I think he made a video, it was on November 21st. There were nobody there, not a soul except for me. He saw me from a distance. And you'll see in the video, he's talking about, well, I'm here at Trump Tower, and there's this woman with her son. He says, this is not my president. I'm going to approach her. And there I was talking to him about what I was doing and how this man didn't deserve to be in the White House and how I was disgusted with him and how the Russians helped him put the thumb on elections. So then he was curious. He was wondering, where are you getting your passion from? You know, nobody has that. There's something in you that keeps you coming here and doing this for hours. So I bring that story to explain to you why I scared the Statue of Liberty, why I didn't tell my friend that to Rise and Resist what I was going to do. Because of where I came from, where I come from. We don't talk about putting children in cages. We don't compromise our norms. It's never okay. It's not acceptable. I think Michelle Obama tried to warn us during the campaign trail when she was talking about when they go low, we go high. And the day I was arrested, the press was there on the next day, the 5th, July 5th. And I used that quote, and I say, I went as high as I could. Unfortunately, the way I started by telling you about our obligation, how we have to go out there and vote them out, I have to also explain to you, we are facing the dark ages. There's something happening. It's ugly. And when I'm asked about this guy, Trump, and what do I think of him? I say, I only think of the devil's advocate. You know, this man was recruited from his basement. He signed a contract with the devil. There's no way to explain him. There's nothing, he cares about nobody else, not his wife, his children. So we have to do better than that, America, my friends, my family. We are facing tough times. The country went so low, I had to climb the Statue of Liberty. And unfortunately, you know, I'm being called a hero. I have a banana somewhere, it will say Shiro. I have a designer. She looked up online, on Facebook, and she's like, you know, a lot of people call her Shiro, so I'm going to make a bandana that says Shiro. I don't feel that way. And I should feel that way because my act was heroic. It took boldness, it took bravery and courage to raise consciousness all over the world and to say, enough. Yeah. Who you think you are? Because you're afraid we're going to be afraid of breaking the law or something, and you're going to get away with whatever you're doing. So I like what Cory Booker was doing in the Senate, right? You all saw that? He said, bring it. That's what I'm saying, bring it. Because they're not used to people fighting like that. We have to go all the way. And that's what I'm doing, and I'm not done with them. Because enough is enough. So, besides voting them out, there's a lot of things we can do. And I'm not saying go claim monument. I'm just saying be bold, listen to your heart. What made it possible for me, I haven't really discussed it to a lot of people. it was the fact that I was listening to God all along. You know, my mom, if you guys went and interview her, she would say, I knew it. I'd been talking about it. And the people around her would say, we knew it. She was talking about it. I would tell you, I knew it. I was talking about it. I have transcripts of me saying, one day, I think I'm going to make a difference. So I live my life in Staten Island, isolated from everything. When your friends start leaving, don't panic, because God has a plan for you. Maybe it wasn't meant for them to be in your future or in your moment. You have work to do. And just before this year, I denounced my family, unfortunately. It was nothing big. It was just like I was outraged. As I went to visit them. I've been in this country for 24-something years, 24 years. And I managed to go back to Africa in 2014 on student loans. It was difficult. It was a few months later, I'm having a conversation with my sister, and I said, remember when I came to visit you guys? She said, oh, that moment when you came for your papers. I said, what? Papers? I came to see you guys. What papers? I have my papers over here. I needed papers to go to you because, you know, I don't have a country anymore. When I'm there, they say she's American. When I'm here, she's not American, she's African. And I got mad. I said, you know what? That was student loans. And it meant a lot for me to come and see you, even though it was for 5 days and it was very difficult for me. So it's not a big reason, but I did that. I'm following my calling. And I didn't watch TV. I don't own a TV. I don't listen to music. And now I understand why. If I had told Rise and Resist that I was going to scale the Statue of Liberty, even if they hadn't told me, don't do it, their voices would be in my head saying, don't do it. If I had been talking to my family, their voices would be in my head saying, don't do it. If I was watching too much TV, somebody, I don't know who I'm going to single out, Oprah, she would be saying, don't do it. So isolation sometimes is not a bad thing. It's cause for you to listen for the inner core of you. And that inner core says, I have no fear. I don't know fear. And I don't even know if I fear God. And I don't think it's a bad thing. Because if he's my father or she's my mother, I don't think I need to fear them, but to feel the love and encouragement and support. So let's stop the dividing, the ignorance of what's happening around us, and let's listen to our inner voice within and be creative and forge solutions to fix this problem that we are facing as a country. Thank you for coming.